So previously in A New Hope, Kylo had killed his father Solo, lost to Rey, and the rebellion was getting ready to take over. So of course, this one starts a bit different than any of the other Star Wars movies, and we start with A War in the Stars. Everything that was set up in the previous episode, you can pretty much forget all about that. There was the flawless Poe in Episode 7, who's now making more mistakes than Urkel. Finn, who in the last one was supposed to be a hero by the end of it, keeps running away in this one. Kylo still kinda wants to be Vader, yet he breaks his mask for whatever reason. Rey finally messes up a couple times, and Luke, boy, this man finally gets lines after 30 years, and the first thing he does is play hot potato with his saber when he tosses it to the back. Now, not only does this movie spend more time on an island than Lost, but it has more storylines going on than Lost. We have Poe and Leia, we have Finn and Rose, we have Luke and Rey, we have Kylo and Rey, and of course we have Hux getting choked because I think he likes it. The big problem that we have from the beginning is that the rebels are being tracked by something that was brought up in Rogue One, but I guess no one used it for 30 years. This excites Snoke, who we all thought was supposed to be this big deal, and homie looks like a dry nutsack. He looks like Caillou after a year of hard drugs. He looks like the testicle that Lance Armstrong is missing. Dude dresses like Jeff Goldblum in Thor Ragnarok, where he was playing Jeff Goldblum. Anyways, he pimp smacks Kylo to teach him who's boss, and Kylo obviously goes and throws a tantrum like the emo kid that he is. He breaks his Hot Topic mask and leaves to buy more black nail polish. Meanwhile, back in the island, Luke is acting like 2 Chainz's old name and is drinking Gatorade milk out of these elf-looking creatures, pretty much just relaxing until he dies so he can be the last Jedi, even though there's like a lot of other Jedi. Rey becomes Harry Potter and starts hearing voices that lead her to not only the Jedi texts that are hidden in the Bug's Life tree, but to this hairy butthole that leads to the bottom of the island where the dark side lives. Meanwhile, on the ship, they keep getting tracked through light speed and begin getting attacked by the First Order. Kylo decides to not shoot his mama, which doesn't matter because then his boys do. This leads to the best CGI scene I've seen since Paul Walker's ending in Furious 7. I mean, they had my girl turn herself into Mary Poppins and float herself back into the ship. They knew they were making a meme out of this scene. During this attack, a lot of the OGs got Allah Akbar'd and are gone, and since Leia is in hospice, we gotta get the second person in command. Cue Laura Dern, who dresses up for the Bronx franchise, looking like one of those people from the Capitol from the Hunger Games, and she is annoying in the way you meet her because she's yelling at Poe. And how dare anyone yell at those sunken puppy eyes? At this point, Finn has decided to run away and gets confronted by the most rarest thing in all of the galaxy, an Asian lead. They come up with a plan to stop the tracker. They escape hoping they don't get caught, and then get caught and don't stop the tracker. While they're on the set of the Hunger Games in this casino place, they come across Benicio del Toro, who offers to help them escape, which he does easily. So, like, why was my dude taking a nap if he could just leave? Anyways, back on the island, Chewbacca is eating the new Star Wars merchandise. Kylo and Rey start playing a game of telephone, and Luke becomes Yoda as he trains Rey. We get a tiny flashback where we learn that Uncle Luke got so scared at one point of Kylo's physicalness that one night he sneaks in to his sleeping quarters, pulls out his saber, and was ready to do something unspeakable, but then decides not to. But Kylo catches his uncle with his saber out and burns everything down. Damn uncle's coming in your room at night. Now, a lot of people keep talking about how Rey beats Luke, but that ain't fair. That's like putting Jordan up against Lonzo Ball right now. Mike wouldn't beat a girl. She leaves to go turn Kylo, only to find out that all of the telepathy that they've been having is all part of Grandmaster Snoke's ultimate plan to win the Game of Thrones and prove how much of a great villain he is. And then he dies, by the lightsaber next to him, by the guy whose mind he was reading. Kylo's now a good guy, and they have a cool duel, and right when you think that he's dropped his emo-ness, my boy goes full Joe Budden for the rest of the movie, because he just yells and gets mad, just because Rey didn't want to join his fort. We find out her parents treated her like Joe Dirt, and they were nobodies. Luke's saber explodes, and Rey, and I don't know how Rey, escapes. Really, I don't know how she escapes. Meanwhile, Poe holds everyone hostage on the ship that they're trying to abandon because he truly believes that Rose and Finn will not get caught. Rose and Finn get caught. Again. Leia wakes up and shoots Poe for hijacking her ship. Finn ends up fighting Chrome Doma Fett and wins, and Mrs. Frizzle over here stays behind, driving the ship so fast into the villain ship that the audio stops. So I'll take back everything I said about her because she's a real one. At this point, we finally get to the third act at Planet Mortons, and the Rebellion have to take these Flintstone rusty aircrafts to stop Voltron's cannon that the Order has set up in order to take down the wall. Everyone retreats once it starts up except Finn, who finally wants to be a hero, but then gets rescued by Rose, who rams into a ship. This is why we can't have nice things. All hope is lost until all hope is not lost and Luke arrives. However, you know something is up because this Luke has got some Just for Men on, and he ain't leaving those red footsteps on the floor, and he goes right to the front lines to get blasted like Denzel at the end of Training Day, only to come out cleaner. Turns out he's a Tupac hologram sent from his Cuban island in order for the rebels to follow those crystal EVs and give them some time to escape. Kylo loses again. Luke has died, but not really, because he can come back in the same way that the Force brought back Yoda, so when the next episode gets boring, it'll all be okay. But we have Leia, Rey, Poe, and this new couple who have re-sparked hope for the rebellion, as well as broken another box office record. And the movie ends with the most controversial shot, letting you know who the franchise is going to focus on from now on. And that's immigrants. Thanks for watching this video. It seems like Star Wars is that one movie where if you hate it, you're a fanboy, and if you love it, you're a fanboy. I know people have complained that the last one was too similar, and now this one's a bit too different, and look, I'm with you. I like the idea that they're going with, right? Having anybody who's not a Skywalker finally be able to be central to the story. It's not your cliche, the chosen one. That's dope. But the execution, I'll say, wasn't probably the best, and because of that, I'm curious to hear your thoughts down below as we discuss the only event that's caused more tension since the last election.